everyone, and welcome to Research Methods for Social Sciences. Um, this class started as an experiment a few years ago because it used to be required in person because there's a lecture component and a lab component and you do a research study, and the department wanted to know, can we effectively do a research class online? So the study was, or this class was a pet project of mine a few years ago, and it has stuck around, and so a lot of time and care has developed into how this class works in an online environment. So the purpose of this video is just kind of get you oriented with how this class is going to work, what we're going to do, and what you can expect from the course. So there's going to be two parts to this welcome video. And both of them are required viewing. And I promise I'm not doing that to be difficult. I'm doing it to emulate how if we were meeting together in person, the first class period of the semester would be syllabus day, where I would tell you all about the class and how it's going to work. And you'd kind of be stuck listening to me explain the class. So that's what we're copying here in this format. There's going to be this basic overview video, and then I'm also going to do a Canvas course navigation where I actually do a screen share and click around so you can see exactly how to find every piece of information that you need for the course. There are going to be some keywords that I say that you're going to need to listen for those and write them down, because in the syllabus understanding video, you're going to need to be able to fill in the blank about what those were. So let's jump into what you can expect from this class. Now, this class does have two sections. Like I said, it has a course and a lab, right? That's why you're getting 4 credit hours for it instead of 3. Make sure, just like if you were taking this class in person on campus, that you have the time to devote to that 1 extra credit hour, okay? I take very seriously the job of trying to have good courses and trying to make my courses fun and enjoyable. Hopefully, if you're back after taking another class with me, you've experienced that. But so when I read the course evals at the end of the semester, I always take the feedback very seriously and try to look into, is there something I should change or modify to make this course better? And one of the most common complaints is, this course is a lot of work. It was hard to find the time to do this. And I get that, because adding that extra credit hour is a lot of work. If you read your syllabi, you'll notice that there's always that statement in there of, this is a 4 credit hour class. That means that you should spend this many hours of class time and this many hours of homework time for a total of about 8 hours of work per week. Now, I have a very realistic perspective of how a lot of online classes go. And I know for most classes, you read that and think, I need an hour, I'm fine. I promise you this is not that class. And if you enter it with that mindset, you're gonna be very frustrated with me very quickly, okay? You do need to devote quite a bit of time to this class. There's a lot of reading, there's a lot of application activities with our lab activities. You're going to have to be required to communicate with some of your classmates because there is going to be a group project. If you need to take a moment and be angry with me, get that out of your system now, because that's just how it is. Like I said, there was a push by the department of, we need to be able to offer this class online, but one of the big hurdles was it was an absolute non-negotiable of part of this class is a group research project, and that has to be emulated in an online environment. Okay, so that became one of the challenges of, how do we do a group research project online? I honestly don't care how you do this. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, that's why I take online classes. My schedule is crazy. I don't have time to meet with a group. You don't have to meet with your group. This is set up in a way where this can all be done online. You can email, you can all collaborate to a shared Google Drive. I'm going to circle back to Google Drive in just a minute. You can text, you can use Discord, you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to micromanage your communication, right? I'm not going to require that you show me emails among your group or that you copy me on anything. Be an adult, communicate with your group. However that works for you is great. I would ask that everybody allows their group mates a little bit of grace and understanding. People do take online classes because their schedule is crazy. Expect a reasonable response time, but don't get mad if you don't always get an answer by 5 p.m. that day or by that exact same night. Once we break into our groups, y'all can figure out a schedule that works for you. I feel like I'm jumping around a lot. Actually, no, before we go any get further, let's do keyword 1. The first keyword that you're going to need to write down that you will need for your syllabus understanding quiz is duck, like the animal, quack, quack, duck. Okay? So I mentioned Google Drive. There are 2 pieces of software that you're going to need to be familiar with this class. One is the whole Google universe. You're going to need to be able to know how to use Google Drives, how to use Google Forms to create a questionnaire, how to use Google Docs to compose a document, and how to use Google Sheets to get your data from your questionnaire and then be able to transport that to a statistics software. Now, that being said, I'm not expecting anybody to enter this class as an IT expert. If all you know how to do at this point is watch these videos and check your email, that's okay. I'm going to post tutorial videos with like click by click walkthroughs of then you will click here and do this, and then you will click here and do this. So I promise you will be able to follow along even if tech proficiency is not your thing. Excuse me. The second piece of software that you're going to need is called Jamovi. Jamovi is a statistical analysis software. The reason that I like Jamovi is because, well, there's 2 key reasons I like it. One, it's available in the cloud. So if you're using a Chromebook where you can't download software easily, it's available in the cloud. You can save the file on a thumb drive, or you can save it on your cloud drive, and that's just fine. It's free. Or you can also download it to your computer. If you have a computer that you can download it, I recommend that, because the cloud version, if you use the free version, it'll cap, its server basically has a cap on it. So if you're trying to do your homework at prime operating hours, like on the weekends or in the evenings, you might get an error message that pops up and says, too many people are using our servers right now, try again later. So just be aware if you're going to use it on the cloud and you're going to use the free version, if the project is due Sunday at midnight and you're trying to log on Sunday at 8 p.m., you might get an error message saying, sorry, too many people on, and that will not be an acceptable reason for late work. So make sure you get started early if that's going to be the option that you use. The second reason I like Jamovi is it's really easy to code your data in it. So whenever you do your questionnaire, if you've done like a scale of never to always, it's really easy to write the program in Jamovi to convert that to a number and do your data analysis. So the Google universe and Jamovi, that's all you're going to need. Now, if you've taken, well, you have to take stats before this class, but if you took a stats class that used JASP or that used SPSS or a different program and you liked it and you still have it and you want to use that, or I guess JASP is free, you could just reinstall it. But anyway, if you've learned statistics on a different program and you like it, that's fine. I won't make you use Jamovi. I know how to work all the programs, at least all the ones that were out when I was going through school. I'm familiar with them. I know how to do them, so I should be able to help you even if you're using JASP instead of Jamovi or PSPP instead of Jamovi. And there's a place for you to let me know on that syllabus understanding quiz, your history with statistics and kind of where you are. So if you're planning on using a different software, just tell me. It's fine. I'm not going to micromanage that. I'm not a micromanager. That's just not my teaching style. So you will split into your group projects for your research you will split into groups for your research project this semester. You will come up with a study that you want to do. You will create a survey. That survey will be sent out to other students at Glendale Community College, and then you'll analyze the data. That's part of why this has to be a group project. I always get emails about, can't I just do this project on my own? I don't like working in a group. The reason why is because we have to have enough participants for you to be able to analyze your data. We already have a hard enough time getting enough people to respond to surveys to be able to break this down into 4 or 5 groups a semester. There's no way we would get enough participants to be able to do 20 research studies. It just wouldn't happen. So that's another reason why you have to work into groups. And I'm going to pause right there for a moment, and I need you to hear me, okay? One problem we've consistently had every semester is people just flat out don't participate in their groups. They think they're going to talk their way out of it. They think it's not actually going to matter. They sign up for a group and they just don't participate. If your thought is sitting here listening to me talk about the group projects and thinking, I'm going to figure out a way to not do that, please just go ahead and drop the class. It's going to be a huge headache for your group members. It's going to be a huge headache for me. I will make it a huge headache for you, okay? The group project is not optional. You have to do it. And if you're sitting here thinking there's absolutely no way I have time to do something like that this semester because of whatever list of what might be very valid reasons, please just choose another semester to take this class, okay? It'll always be here. We offer it every semester. So if you are maxed out right now and can't do a group project, just bow out and I will see you at some point in the future. But it is required. If you don't sign up for a group by the due date, you will be dropped from the course, because if you're not even going to commit to participate in a group, there's no point in being here, okay? So just participate, be reasonable, communicate with me, communicate with your group mates. Obviously, if you're sick or have a sick kid or a parent in the hospital or whatever, we're all going to be understanding of that. Just communicate. All right, so now that we've gone through that, this course is set up pretty consistently. Every week you're going to have 3 activities. Well, I guess technically 4. The first one is going to be doing the reading and watching the lecture videos, okay? That's your first activity. While you're doing that, you do need to take notes, because your second activity of the week is always going to be doing a quiz. All the quizzes are multiple choice. All of them require one of those lockdown browsers where you're locked into your screen, you can't open anything else, your webcam is on. Now, those notes that you took, there's 2 pieces to why those are important. One, you'll be able to use those notes as you take the quiz. So the better notes you take, the easier your quiz is going to be. The other thing is you're actually going to upload your notes as part of your quiz, and it's worth half your quiz points. So even if you bomb a quiz, as long as you took good notes, you're still going to get half credit on the quiz. So that'll be, it's helpful. It also makes sure that everyone is reading and doing things. I know with the current AI situation, it is very easy taking an online class to copy discussion boards into an AI and copy the response. It's very easy to use a homework helper AI app. I know about the ones that can get around the proctoring, like don't even do it. I know about them. I know how to look for them. It's very easy to have AI do your quiz for you and have AI do your discussions for you and leave a course with an A and not have read anything in the textbook and not really have learned anything. And that's not going to be how we do things here. So you will be taking notes. They must be handwritten. I have a video about that I'm going to post also, about some of the research that goes into that, about how much better you retain information and engage your critical thinking skills if you're taking handwritten notes. So there is a reason for that beyond just the whole AI technology whack-a-mole game that we constantly play in online classes. It is very cognitively beneficial, and it's also going to be beneficial to your grade because it's really easy points for just taking notes. Because that's what I care about. I want you cognitively engaging in the information. All right, so you'll take your quiz, 25 multiple choice questions. You'll have 45 minutes to do it. Obviously, if you have an accommodation that lengthens time, make sure that I know that the office is really good about sending them to me, but always double check that I've received them. That way I can adjust your time for you. Each week you'll also have a discussion. Your discussion replies will always be due by Thursdays, or your initial discussion post will always be due by Thursdays, and your discussion replies will always be due by Sunday at midnight, and there's 3 of those that are required. So initial post Thursday, that due Sunday, and we'll have a discussion every single week. So if there's a week that you've missed taking a quiz, or you've missed turning in notes, or you've missed a discussion, you have forgotten something, because those are consistent every week. And then the 4th thing is every week there will be some sort of lab activity. Now some weeks this is really light, right? Like the first few weeks, 1 week it's submitting an idea for a research project. 1 week it's signing up for your group. 1 week it's finding an article that your group could use for your research paper. And then as we go into the semester, they get a little more time intensive in terms of developing your questionnaires, analyzing your data, things like that. You are going to be building a research report throughout the semester. We're going to write 1 section of it at a time. And one thing that's important is to always check the instructions for which activities are group work with your lab and which activities are independent work. Because some of the things like writing the questionnaire and all of that, I expect all the group members to participate, but you'll turn in one copy of it. Whereas with the research report sections, like your introduction, your method, your statistical analysis, your discussion, those sorts of sections, every person in your group will write one, and they need to be independent. Obviously, there's going to be some overlap in content since you're all working on the project together, but those should all be your own independent effort in writing them. You shouldn't be basing your report off your lab mates' reports. Now, obviously, I hope that a collegial relationship develops, and it's okay to ask one of your group mates, hey, how did you explain that weird thing we found with the statistic? I don't care about that. But there shouldn't be anything that's identical in your research reports. The second keyword that you need is pink, like the color pink. All right, I've already covered my AI policy a little bit. I take academic honesty very seriously. The first instance of cheating, whether that's plagiarism, inappropriate AI use, whatever, is a failing grade. The second instance, you failed, like failing grade for that activity. The second instance is a failing grade for the course and an academic dishonesty report. I promise you that our department and the college as a whole takes it just as seriously as I do, so you don't want that meeting to have to happen. So don't cheat in my course. I put a lot of time and effort to try to make my classes fun and engaging. As long as you put the effort in, you're not gonna fail the course. It's not worth it to cheat, so just be honest academically. I have informational pages posted with much more details about what is and is not allowed in terms of AI use and things of that nature. You're not going to accidentally cheat in the class, okay? And always ask me clarifying questions if there's something that you don't understand, or better be safe than sorry, which leads me into the last point for this video, which is about how to ask me questions. The first thing you need to know, our faculty spam filter takes its job very, very seriously. And if you email me from anything other than your Maricopa email address or your GCC email address, it is going to go in the spam filter. I've gotten several frustrated Canvas messages from students. If you didn't respond to my email from a week and a half ago, it's not there. It was in the spam quarantine thing. So if you try to email me from a personal Gmail account or iCloud account or a work email account, it's probably going to get stuck. So if you're going to use email, please make sure it's coming from your @maricopa.edu or your @gccaz.edu. That being said, I actually much prefer that you use the Canvas inbox messaging system. It's easier. It's easier to link to specific course pages. If I want to say, hey, click here, where it will direct you directly through Canvas. And it takes away the whole, it was caught in the spam filter thing. So my preference is that you would use the Canvas inbox. If you are going to email me, again, just make sure it's coming from one of those official ones and not your personal one. With that being said, the third keyword is tree, like a tree outside. Let me review my notes. I think that is everything that we needed to cover in this first video. This next video that's posted is going to show you course navigation. If you have any questions, concerns about anything, please just shoot me an email, and I look forward to interacting with all of you soon.